Every year, 24th of October is celebrated as United Nations Day, as UN came into existence on this day in 1945, and 2020 marks the 75th year of its creation. Before going into the details of the United Nations, let's look at the brief history of its creation. The First World War killed around 13 million people and most of Europe was left in shatters. So, then US President Woodrow Wilson came up with a scheme to stop such wars from being repeated. And as a result, in 1920, League of Nations was formed and he was awarded Nobel Prize for Peace in 1919 for this noble idea. It was the world's first intergovernmental organization that worked to maintain global peace, human and drug trafficking, the arms trade, and to improve global health. But the organization failed to perform its primary objective, that is to prevent future war, as the Second World War started in 1939 during the active years of the League. Second World War was more fatal than the first one, and there was an urgent need to re-establish world peace and order. So, then US President Franklin D. Roosevelt and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill came up with a document known as Atlantic Charter, which called for the formation of a new organization to maintain peace. Later, representatives of 26 countries met and accepted the charter and signed a document known as the Declaration of the United Nations. This was the beginning of the UN. In San Francisco, on 25th April 1945, a two-day convention took place where a document was developed known as UN Charter, and it was consented by 51 countries then. The UN Charter sets the principles and the structure of United Nations organization. So the UN formed in 1945 and currently it is made up of 193 member states. Due to power vested in its charter and its unique international character, the United Nations can take action on the issues confronting humanity in the 21st century, such as peace and security, climate change, sustainable development, human rights, disarmament, terrorism, so on and so forth. Let's look at the main organs of the United Nations. General Assembly. It is the central body of the UN and it can be seen as the world's parliament. It is the main deliberative, policy-making and representative organ of UN. Each year in September, all UN membership meets in General Assembly Hall in New York for the General Assembly session and general debate, which many heads of state attend and address. Security Council. It is the most powerful organ of the UN, and it has the primary responsibility as per UN Charter is to maintenance of international peace and security. It has 15 members, 5 permanent and 10 non-permanent members. It suggests measures to resolve any dispute and to restore international peace and security. As per the Charter, member states are obligated to comply with the Council decisions. So the real power to make decisions for the world lies with the Security Council. Number 3. Economic and Social Council is the principal body of coordination, policy review, policy dialogue and recommendations on economic, social and environmental issues as well as implementation of internationally agreed developmental goals. In short, its objective is to lessen the economic and social disparities between the rich and poor nations. Number 4. Trusteeship Council. This council was formed to look after 11 territories known as trust territories that were actually belonged to those powers that were defeated in the Second World War. By 1994, all the trust territories had attained self-government or independence, so it was suspended as its mission was accomplished. International Court of Justice is the principal judicial organ of the UN. It was known as the Permanent Court of Arbitration, established in 1899 in The Hague, Netherlands, to hear international disputes. It is involved in settling all the legal disputes as per international law submitted by the member states. The United Nations is run by its Secretariat, so it is one of the vital organs. The programs and the policies laid down by other UN bodies are administered by the Secretariat. It comprises Secretary General and thousands of staff across the world. The duties carried out by the Secretariat range from peacekeeping to mediating international disputes. Since the founding of United Nations, hundreds of brave men and women have given their lives in its service. Now let's look at the specialized agencies which are actually helping hands of the United Nations. There was a lot of discussion by the scholars and politicians after the Second World War to find the roots of the conflict that later led to wars. After a lot of debates and discussions, it was found that poverty, ignorance, and injustice were the prime causes that led to serious international issues. To tackle these issues, the UN came up with a number of funds and specialized agencies. These funds and programs came directly under General Assembly. First, the funds and programs. Let's look at few important ones. UNDP, United Nations Development Program, is helping to eradicate poverty, reduce inequalities, and to sustain progress. UNDP plays critical role in helping countries achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Next, UNEP, and United Nations Environmental Program, established in 1972, acts as catalyst, advocate, educator, and facilitator to promote the wise use and sustainable development of the global environment. United Nations Population Fund, a lead agency for delivering a world where every pregnancy is wanted, every child is safe, and every young person's potential is fulfilled. UNICEF, United Nations Children Fund, is successfully providing humanitarian and developmental aid to children around the world since 1946. Aim of the World Food Programme is to eradicate hunger and malnutrition. There are 15 specialized agencies. Prominent among them are FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, which leads international effort to fight hunger. ILO, International Labour Organization, promotes international labor rights by formulating international standards. IMF and World Bank, both headquartered at Washington DC, but their functions are different. International Monetary Fund strives to bring stability to the world's monetary system and fosters economic growth and employment, whereas World Bank works to reduce poverty and the improvement of living standards worldwide. Another major UN agency is WHO, World Health Organization. Its motto is better health for everyone, everywhere. It is also concerned with nutrition, food security, and drug abuse. Some believe that WHO has not performed up to its potential in fighting the present pandemic. However, World Health Day is celebrated on 7th April every year to commemorate the founding of WHO in 1948. United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization is also an important UN agency. It works primarily to improve and promote education, science and culture. This is done in order to increase the universal respect for justice, law and human rights. Other entities and bodies includes UNAIDS, UNHCR, United Nations High Commission for Refugees, which protects refugees worldwide and facilitates their return home or resettlement. United Nations University, which was established by United Nations General Assembly to conduct research into the pressing global problems of human survival, development and welfare. It is situated in Tokyo, Japan. Other related organizations are like United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which was established in 1992 to respond to the rising challenges posed by the climate change. IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, which help in cooperation in nuclear field and promote safe, secure and peaceful use of nuclear technology. WTO and ITC are also important organizations. One of the great deeds of the United Nations is establishing lasting peace in areas affected by conflicts. As per UN Charter, the power and responsibility to take collective action to maintain international peace and security lies with the UNSC. United Nations does not have any army of its own, but at times of crisis, UN call on its member states to provide their military service. First peacekeeping mission launched in then newly created state of Israel in 1948. Mission is in operation till date. Several peacekeeping missions still going on across the world. India is one of the few countries which got UN membership before its independence. It was Sir Arkot Ramaswamy Mudaliar who signed UN Charter on behalf of India during San Francisco Conference on June 26, 1945. India has taken active participation in UN peacekeeping missions across the world. India has been a part of 43 peacekeeping missions. According to 2014 reports, India is the third largest contributor of troops to the UN. India earlier served 7 times as non-permanent member of UNSC and it will start its 8th term from January 2021. Duration of non-permanent members is 2 years. Reform in UNSC. With the advent of many developing countries like India, China, Brazil, etc., many world leaders want reform in the UNSC as the geopolitics has changed since its inception. India is a part of G4 nations which back each other to get permanent membership in the UNSC. Brazil, Japan and Germany are the other 3 G4 nations. Only 5 permanent members can use veto in the Security Council. These 5 members includes USA, UK, France, China and Russia. In simple words, veto is the power to say no to any decision. So, no major decisions would be made if any of the 5 members vetoes a proposal. India wants to be permanent member of the UNSC for the reasons like it is the second largest population in the world, it is the world's largest liberal democracy, it is one of the largest economy in the world, etc. To conclude, I would like to urge you to visit un.org to know more about United Nations and its activities. Thank you.